In the bustling district of Gwangju, a quiet neighborhood nestled between modern apartments and traditional houses, lived Kim Hira. At 62, she was an unassuming woman with silver-streaked hair and sharp eyes that seemed to hold secrets beyond her years. Her small apartment, filled with an array of cats, was more than just a home. It was a carefully designed laboratory of technological wonder. Each morning, Hira would wake before sunrise, her routine precise and calculated. Her cats were not ordinary pets. They moved with an intelligence that suggested something extraordinary lurked beneath their soft fur and playful demeanor. Some were pure white, others striped in gray, but all shared a common trait, a peculiar alertness that seemed almost unnatural. Park Sung-ho, her business partner of 15 years, had always viewed her as a harmless eccentric, a woman who spent more time with her cats than developing serious technological innovations. He would laugh behind her back, calling her the crazy cat lady of their small research firm, never realizing the depth of her genius. Their company, Quantum Horizons, specialized in communication technologies. On the surface, they appeared to be a modest research outfit developing standard networking solutions, but Hira knew they were on the brink of something monumental. That particular morning started like any other. Hira was reviewing complex quantum algorithms, her fingers dancing across multiple holographic screens. Her cats watched her, their eyes reflecting an almost human-like understanding. The white cat named Bolt sat closest to her, its tail twitching with what seemed like anticipation. Sung-ho arrived late, as usual. His expensive leather shoes clicked against the hardwood floor, breaking Hira's concentration. She knew something was different today. The tension in the air was palpable, electric. "We need to talk," Sung-ho said, his voice carrying an edge of calculated coldness. Hira remained calm, stroking Bolt's fur. The cat's eyes never left Sung-ho, watching him with an intensity that would have unnerved most people. What Sung-ho didn't know was that Hira had been preparing for this moment for years. Her research into quantum communication was far more advanced than anyone in their small company could comprehend. The cats weren't just pets, they were living quantum processors, each one a sophisticated piece of technological marvel disguised as a simple household animal. The room felt charged, like moments before a thunderstorm. Hira's cats shifted subtly, positioning themselves around her like a protective shield. Bolt's tail continued to twitch, a signal of something brewing beneath the calm surface. Sung-ho pulled out some documents, his hands slightly trembling. He believed he was about to expose some grand deception, unaware that Hira was several steps ahead. Her entire life had been a carefully constructed strategy, a long game of technological chess where she was always the grandmaster. "I know what you've been developing," Sung-ho said, spreading technological schematics across the table. "And I'm going to make sure you never get credit for it." A subtle smile crossed Hira's lips. The cats around her seemed to lean forward, their collective energy focused on the unfolding drama. Little did Sung-ho realize, his actions were exactly what Hira had anticipated. The $250,000 lawsuit he was preparing would become the very mechanism that would expose a technological breakthrough that could change humanity's understanding of communication forever. The white cat Bolt slowly stood up, its movements deliberate and calculated. Something was definitely not ordinary about this moment, this room, or these cats. As Sung-ho continued his aggressive speech, Hira remained calm. Her fingers gently brushed Bolt's fur, a silent communication passing between her and the cat that suggested this was merely the beginning of a much larger story. Outside, the morning sun cast long shadows across Gwangju, unaware that inside this small apartment, the first moves of a technological revolution were being made by a woman most would dismiss as just another crazy cat lady. The next few days unfolded like a carefully planned chess match. Hira's research laboratory, hidden within her modest apartment, buzzed with quiet energy. Her cats moved between complex equipment, their movements precise and calculated. Bolt, the white cat, seemed to be the central processor of her remarkable system. When Hira connected specialized quantum chips to the cat's neural network, something extraordinary happened. The feline's eyes would shift, reflecting complex mathematical calculations faster than any supercomputer. Sun Ho had stolen what he thought were simple research documents, but these were decoys, meticulously crafted to lead him into a trap. Each document contained subtle quantum encoding, invisible to standard digital forensics, but readable by Hira's enhanced feline network. Her breakthrough wasn't just about communication technology. It was a complete reimagining of data transmission. Traditional networks required massive infrastructure: fiber optics, satellites, complex computer systems. Hira's cats could transmit quantum-encrypted information through biological networks, using their own neural pathways as communication channels. The cats weren't just pets. They were living, breathing quantum processors. Each had been genetically modified, their brain structures enhanced to process complex computational tasks. Their fur contained microscopic quantum circuits, their nervous systems acting as natural data transmission lines. Sun Ho began investigating the stolen documents, unaware that every digital step he took was being monitored. The cats tracked his movements, recording every click, every search, every moment of digital interaction. In her laboratory, Hira watched multiple holographic screens. Bolt sat beside her, its tail moving in synchronized patterns that matched incoming data streams. The other cats moved around specialized equipment, each performing specific computational tasks. Her research had begun years ago, inspired by a lifetime of being underestimated. People saw a middle-aged woman with too many cats. They never saw the brilliant scientist who had been quietly revolutionizing communication technology. The quantum communication system she developed could transmit information instantaneously across vast distances. Unlike traditional networks that relied on electromagnetic waves, her system used quantum entanglement principles embedded within living biological systems. Sun Ho's investigation led him deeper into a technological trap. Every document he accessed, every digital trail he followed, was carefully orchestrated by Hira and her cats. He believed he was uncovering secrets, but he was actually being fed exactly what Hira wanted him to see. The cats were more than just research subjects. They were active participants in her technological ecosystem. Their enhanced neural networks could process complex algorithms, adapt to new information, and communicate with each other through quantum-encrypted channels. When Sun Ho finally compiled what he thought was comprehensive evidence against Hira, he was actually completing the final piece of her intricate plan. The lawsuit he was preparing would become the mechanism to publicly demonstrate her technological breakthrough. Bolt looked up at Hira, its eyes reflecting a level of intelligence that seemed almost human. A subtle communication passed between the scientist and her feline companion, a shared understanding of the technological revolution about to unfold. The quantum communication system represented more than just a technological advancement. It was a fundamental reimagining of how information could be transmitted, processed, and secured. Traditional technological limitations would become obsolete. As evening fell over Gwangju, Hira continued her work. The cats moved silently around her, each performing its specialized task. Holographic screens flickered with complex mathematical equations, quantum algorithms dancing across their surfaces. Sun Ho had no idea that every action he took was part of a larger strategy. The crazy cat lady was about to reveal a technological breakthrough that would change everything, and he was the unwitting catalyst that would make it happen. The stage was set. The players were in position, and the quantum revolution was about to begin, one cat at a time. The legal proceedings began on a crisp morning in Seoul's central courthouse. What seemed like a simple $250,000 lawsuit would become humanity's most significant technological moment. Alien corporate representatives sat quietly in the courtroom, their human disguises carefully maintained. They understood something humans did not. Hira's technology represented a fundamental threat to their interstellar communication monopoly. Bolt, the primary quantum processor cat, sat beside Hira. Its white fur seemed to shimmer with an unusual metallic undertone that most observers would mistake for lighting tricks. Only those with specialized knowledge would recognize the quantum circuits embedded within its biological system. Sung Ho presented his stolen documents, believing he had solid evidence of intellectual property theft. His expensive suit and confident demeanor suggested total victory was imminent. But Hira remained calm, her fingers gently stroking Bolt's fur. The first demonstration came unexpectedly. When Sung Ho's lawyer began presenting digital evidence, Bolt's eyes suddenly glowed with a soft blue light. Complex mathematical equations began projecting from its eyes, revealing the depth of the quantum communication system. Courtroom audiences gasped. The holographic projections showed intricate communication networks that could transmit information across impossible distances. Each projection represented a breakthrough that would revolutionize global and potentially interstellar communication technologies. Alien representatives shifted uncomfortably. Their carefully maintained human disguises flickered momentarily, revealing scaled skin and complex neural implants. They recognized the potential of Hira's technology immediately. The quantum communication system was unlike anything previously developed. Traditional networks relied on electromagnetic waves and satellite systems. Hira's system used living biological networks, specifically her genetically enhanced cats, as quantum communication processors. Each of her cats could transmit encrypted information faster than any existing technology. Their neural networks functioned like advanced quantum computers, processing complex algorithms while maintaining perfect data integrity. No existing communication system could match their capabilities. Sung Ho's lawyer tried interrupting, but the technological demonstration continued. Bolt walked across the courtroom table, leaving trails of holographic data with each step. Complex mathematical equations danced around its body, revealing layers of technological complexity. The implications were staggering. This wasn't just a communication technology. It was a complete reimagining of data transmission. Interstellar corporations that had monopolized communication networks for decades would become obsolete overnight. Hira's background as a quantum physicist and genetic engineer suddenly made sense. Her lifetime of research, disguised as an eccentric cat lady's hottie, had produced a technological marvel that would change everything. Alien representatives began making discreet communication attempts. Their neural implants worked overtime, trying to understand and potentially compromise the technology. But Hira's quantum encryption was several generations beyond their capabilities. Bolt looked directly at the alien representatives, its eyes displaying a complex series of mathematical sequences. It was a clear message. This technology was beyond their comprehension or control. The courtroom felt electric. Technology experts, corporate representatives, and government officials watched in stunned silence. What had begun as a simple lawsuit was transforming into humanity's most significant technological revelation. Sung Ho realized too late that he had been manipulated. Every document he had stolen, every action he had taken, was part of Hira's larger strategy. He wasn't exposing her. He was helping her demonstrate her breakthrough. As the demonstration concluded, the implications became clear. Hira's quantum communication system would democratize information transmission. No single corporation or alien civilization could control communication networks anymore. The crazy cat lady had just changed the course of human technological development. And she had done it with a team of genetically enhanced cats, years of careful research, and a strategy that would be studied for generations. Bolt looked up at Hira and winked, a distinctly human gesture from a quantum-enhanced feline that suggested this was only the beginning. The courthouse erupted into chaos after Hira's demonstration. Sung Ho's carefully constructed plan had completely collapsed, revealing him as nothing more than a desperate man trying to steal groundbreaking technology. Alien corporate representatives began making subtle movements. Their human disguises flickered, revealing scaled skin and complex neural implants. They understood that Hira's technology threatened their entire communication infrastructure. "You cannot do this," Sung Ho whispered, leaning close to Hira. "Do you understand what you're about to destroy?" Hira simply smiled. Bolt, her primary quantum processor cat, sat beside her, its white fur seeming to pulse with hidden technological energy. The cat's eyes tracked Sungho's every movement, calculating potential scenarios faster than any human computer. The courtroom became a battlefield of technological warfare. Holographic displays continued showing complex quantum communication networks, each projection revealing layers of sophisticated technological design. Experts in communication technology watched in stunned silence. Sungho's lawyer attempted to interrupt, presenting stolen documents as evidence of intellectual property theft. But each document Hira had deliberately planted contained hidden quantum markers, traceable information that revealed the true depth of her technological strategy. "These documents," Hira announced calmly, "are not stolen research. They are precisely designed as demonstration tools." Bolt moved across the table, leaving trails of mathematical equations with each step. The cat was more than a pet. It was a living, breathing quantum processor capable of performing computational tasks beyond human comprehension. The alien representatives began communicating through discrete neural networks. Their attempts to breach Hira's quantum encryption failed continuously. Each attempt was immediately detected and neutralized by the quantum communication system embedded within her cats. Sungho realized he had been completely outmaneuvered. Every action he had taken was part of Hira's larger plan. He wasn't exposing her technology. He was helping her demonstrate its incredible capabilities to the world. "You've been planning this for years," Sungho muttered, his confidence completely shattered. Hira's background as a quantum physicist and genetic engineer suddenly made perfect sense. Her lifetime of research, disguised as an eccentric cat lady's hobby, had produced a technological marvel that would revolutionize global communication. The courtroom felt charged with electric tension. Technology experts, corporate representatives, and government officials watched as the most significant technological breakthrough in human history unfolded before their eyes. Bolt looked directly at the alien representatives, its eyes displaying a complex series of mathematical sequences. It was a clear message. This technology was beyond their understanding or control. The quantum communication system would democratize information transmission across potentially infinite distances. "No single corporation can control communication networks anymore," Hira announced, her voice calm and steady. The alien representatives tried multiple strategies to disrupt the proceedings. Their neural implants worked overtime, attempting to compromise or understand the technology. But Hira's quantum encryption was generations beyond their capabilities. Sungho's legal team collapsed. Their arguments crumbled under the weight of technological evidence. Each document, each piece of stolen research, had been precisely designed to lead to this moment of revelation. As the demonstration concluded, the implications became crystal clear. Hira had not just developed a communication technology. She had created a system that could potentially connect humanity with technologies far beyond current understanding. The crazy cat lady had transformed from an underestimated researcher to a technological revolutionary. And she had accomplished this with a team of genetically enhanced cats, years of careful research, and a strategy that would be studied for generations. Bolt looked up at Hira and winked, a distinctly human gesture from a quantum-enhanced feline that suggested this was only the beginning of a much larger story. The courtroom fell silent, understanding that everything had just changed. The final legal proceedings came swiftly. Hira's victory was not just a personal triumph, but a watershed moment for human technological advancement. The court ruled completely in her favor, awarding her full rights to her quantum communication technology and substantial damages. Sungho watched in total defeat as everything he had worked for crumbled. His attempts to steal Hira's research had backfired spectacularly, transforming her from a seemingly ordinary researcher into a global technological hero. Bolt, the primary quantum processor cat, sat beside Hira during the final verdict. Its white fur seemed to shimmer with an almost metallic quality, a subtle reminder of the extraordinary technology embedded within its biological system. Global communication networks immediately recognized the potential of her breakthrough. Traditional satellite and fiber optic systems suddenly looked primitive compared to the quantum communication network developed by Hira and her cats. Government representatives from multiple countries approached her with unprecedented offers. Research institutions, technology companies, and space exploration agencies all wanted to understand her revolutionary technology. But Hira had a different plan. She established the Quantum Horizon Institute, a research center dedicated to democratizing communication technologies. Her goal was simple: ensure that no single corporation or government could monopolize information transmission. Each of her cats became a living demonstration of the technology. They could process complex quantum algorithms, transmit encrypted information, and adapt to new computational challenges faster than any existing computer system. The alien corporate representatives who had watched the proceedings realized their communication monopolies were now completely obsolete. Hira's technology had broken their decades-long control over interstellar information networks. News media struggled to explain the breakthrough. How could a 62-year-old woman with a collection of cats develop a technology that would transform global communication? The crazy cat lady narrative quickly transformed into a story of unexpected technological genius. Bolt became more than just a research subject. The cat was now a symbol of technological revolution, appearing in scientific journals and technology conferences around the world. Its ability to process quantum information challenged everything humans understood about biological computing. Hira's genetic research revealed another layer of complexity. The cats were not just enhanced, they represented a new form of living computational system. Each cat was a complete quantum processor, capable of processing and transmitting information at speeds previously thought impossible. International scientific communities began studying her work. Quantum physicists, genetic engineers, and communication experts all wanted to understand the methodology behind her breakthrough. Hira welcomed the scrutiny, confident in her research. The $250,000 lawsuit had transformed into a multi-billion-dollar technological revolution. Sung Ho, once a powerful business partner, was now completely discredited. His attempts to steal her research had only served to amplify her achievements. Space exploration agencies saw immediate applications. The quantum communication system could potentially enable instantaneous communication across vast interstellar distances. Missions that once took years to communicate could now exchange information in milliseconds. Hira's laboratory expanded. What was once a small apartment became a global research center. Her cats continued their remarkable work, each one a living testament to her groundbreaking research. The transformation was complete. The woman once dismissed as a crazy cat lady had become one of the most important technological innovators in human history. Her quantum communication network would change how humanity understood information, communication, and potentially our place in the universe. Bolt looked up at Hira, its eyes reflecting complex mathematical equations. A subtle communication passed between the scientist and her quantum-enhanced feline companion, a shared understanding that this was just the beginning of a much larger journey. The world would never be the same, and it all started with a lawsuit, a collection of extraordinary cats, and one remarkable woman who refused to be underestimated.